The system's asking you what you want to do with those contacts in batch leads for you automatically. Hey guys, welcome to another episode here on BatchTV. My name's Landry and I'm the community manager at Batch Service, and I can't believe we haven't posted a video like this before where I'll show you how to integrate your BatchLeads and BatchDialer account, pull a list, then push those contacts over to BatchDialer to start making phone calls. It's super easy to do, so let's jump right into my account. And we're going to start off by going into BatchLeads. Just click on your initials in the top right hand corner to head over to your settings through My Profile, and then go to integrations, and you're going to see somewhere on your page an empty slot just waiting for your API key from BatchDialer. So we really just need to go and copy that and paste it into this area. So now open up your BatchDialer account, go to a very similar area by clicking on your name in the top right hand corner, then go to settings and then go to integrations, very similar once again, and then find the BatchLeads integration specific box. Looks like this. Click on integrate, and you're going to get a window with your API key if you don't have them connected already, of course. So grab that key, paste it into BatchLeads, and that's technically all you need to do. I will show you how you can actually sync your accounts where they'll communicate a little bit deeper in just a moment, but let's grab this link, paste it into BatchLeads, and then click on this blue check mark off to the right to confirm it and save it. Technically, you're done connecting them. But what I would do if it was me, I would go back into my BatchDialer account to that same section. And now that they're connected, if you click on that BatchLeads box one more time, there's going to be a different window, and it's going to display mapping fields. And I'll really tie this together by the end of today's episode on how this really works. But basically on this mapping page, you can set up a flow for the system to obey with your call results and how it's going to affect your BatchLeads lead statuses and your phone number statuses on your leads in your BatchLeads account. Yours might look different than mine, so don't worry about that. You're going to see probably a smaller list of your call results here. I have a lot of custom ones in my account, but it's basically saying that when you start pushing people over from BatchLeads into BatchDialer and you start making phone calls and you start dispositioning those calls with call results, the system's asking you what you want to do with those contacts in BatchLeads for you automatically. So let's just go over a quick example, and you'll see how to do this later when I show you how to make those phone calls. But let's just say that we push over a contact named John from BatchLeads, and we have him over here in BatchDialer. We give him a call, it doesn't go so great, and we mark him as do not call. Maybe we want to change the lead status in BatchLeads automatically to maybe not interested, and the phone number status to DNC or do not call. All done for you, all connected. So let's just go ahead and move back over to BatchLeads so I can show you what it's talking about. Make sure that as you go through this mapping page that you do apply it to sync all of that data in BatchLeads. Down here, there should be a check mark, and then click save to actually confirm it. But let me show you what it's talking about here in BatchLeads. These are my saved contacts or saved records in my list. These are lead statuses that you can absolutely change yourself, but that will change automatically for you based on your syncing. So let's just say this was the contact we pushed over from BatchLeads to BatchDialer. We marked them as DNC. Based on our syncing settings, the lead status would change to not interested automatically for you. This is just to show you for example. And the phone number status, which is displayed over here, would change to DNC for me. So every time I open up this contact in BatchLeads, I'll have no question that the phone number that I called somewhere here in this list maybe ended up on my kind of do not call list, and they're not interested at this time. So I don't have to worry about reaching out to the same people or trying to collect information on people that already told me not to call them back, or I already set an appointment with, whatever that might look like. But really, really valuable. You don't have to do that by any means, but depending on your needs, having the systems communicate a bit deeper can be really valuable. So let's go ahead and move forward. Now that we have them connected, and I do have them kind of synced there in my account, just bring up that page one more time to reiterate, but go through all of the ones that you want to get connected. You don't have to do it for all of your call results. Maybe just do it for the big ones, like do not call any people that were a successful sale or you set up an appointment with, or a wrong number. Click save when you're done. And now we're gonna go to BatchLeads. and start pulling lists. So if you guys go through BatchTV, we have tons of videos on different lists you can pull, failed listings, tax defaults, the list goes on. There's tons of different resources available for you guys to check out in our help center, and different lists that you might be thinking of pulling. You can ask community members. If you guys click on that link in the description, you can join the Batch community, see what's working for other people. But I want to give you just kind of an example on how that works in BatchLeads. And what's really nice is that because of those new plans that have the included contact information, I can pull this list, have all of their phone numbers and email addresses ready to go, and then just push them over, start making those calls. So let's go into property search. You can also use the driving routes section to allow you to drive for dollars. And we do have a fully functioning mobile app that you can take out on the go on drives or pull lists, whatever you want to do. But let's go to property search. You can use the search bar across the top or the boundary tool. This always gets forgotten about, and it's this pencil icon down here to draw something on the map. Let's just go to the search bar where you can search a specific city, state, zip code, or county. And I'm going to go to the city of maybe Houston, Texas, for example. You'll always want to choose your strategy if that's applicable to you and what you're using BatchLeads for, on or off market here. Let's say that we're looking for off market opportunities, so they are not listed on the MLS with an agent. And what you can do is you can either start using your quick filters. These are some really, really valuable lists that work for many people that you could just pull, save into your account, make it really easy on yourself. You could also, in the new plans, use this BatchRank AI feature. I'm sure you guys have seen this all over the place now, but this is using a proprietary algorithm to help you find property owners that have a higher likelihood of selling their properties based on multiple distress indicators. So just in a few seconds, I could say, hey, I'm looking for off-market properties and I want them to be really likely to sell. But just depending on your plan, you may be limited only to the medium or kind of middle tier here. So watch out for that. You might see something different, but you can definitely use this to your advantage. And personally, if it was me, I really like to, let's turn this off for now. I really like to just use this all filter section. You can get so granular and just dive so much deeper than pulling some of those maybe more well-known lists, and tell the system more about who you're trying to target and look for. This quick filter section is nice too. I always like to bring this up because you can actually stack list in this section. So if you're looking for vacant properties that have failed and were listed on the market, but they were unable to sell that property, and maybe they have high equity as well, you can start stacking these different types of lists on top of one another. And already you're going to have a more narrowed down list than most people kind of pulling lists. So keep those in mind. You have other things in here too, like property characteristics, bedrooms, bathrooms, the types of properties, like finding only single family homes, for example, MLS status if you are looking for on-market opportunities, deeper pre-foreclosure and tax info information. Information on the ownership info is always really valuable, making sure that you're finding properties that have been owned for at least a few years. I usually do like a minimum of 7, minimum of 10. They've been owned for a good chunk of time. You can pull great cash buyers lists in BatchLeads too. So many people don't realize. And we do have a video on that here on BatchTV too for you to check out, or in our help center. Demographics on like the age of the owner, their net worth. So you can get really specific when you're pulling these lists. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it on this example that I'm pulling, kind of the stack list here of vacant properties that have failed or have canceled or expired, in other words, and they have high equity and they've been owned for a minimum of 10 years is what I'm going to stick with for this example. So let's check out our results down here. You can definitely look into the details and find out a little bit more about the properties here if you want to, but I'm just going to go ahead and save them. Remember, as soon as you save these properties, you're going to get contact information if you're in those new plans, which are growth, professional, or scale, which is so nice. So all inclusive skip tracing is on every property you save. I'm going to click select all, click save, save your properties. And the more people I talk to, the more I realize that people in the beginning of adding properties into their account, they haven't come up with a sure way of organizing their data. So pick something now in the beginning and you'll thank yourself later, and do the same thing over and over again. You'll see it all over the place in these videos. I always say that the list, the way I like to do it anyway, is a very main point. It's more of a placeholder, if you will. And my tags are what I usually really care about. They have the reference list name, and I'll show you this here in a moment. I always include where I got the data and when I got it as well. It makes it really, really simple for me to find my information later. So to me, the main idea of this list is I do already have a vacant failed listings list in my account, so I'm going to use that right here. But as you're getting started, you're just going to type out whatever you want your list name to be, and there should be a create as new list option. So let's just put it into this existing one. And then for my tag, I always reference the list name. So vacant failed listings. I think we're here in Houston, Texas. In the month, I typically do it by the month as well lately. If I can type here, there we go, and then create it as a new tag. So as you can see here, it's kind of the main idea and the subcategory. So once you finish, click save. And you can save agents in here too, but this is an off-market list. I'm not really concerned with that right now, but we do have a full real estate agent directory, which is really great. Let's go into my list. This is where all of the data is going to be saved and manageable, and you're going to be able to immediately get the contact information. We will have it blurred here for YouTube, but I could open up the details and immediately get their phone numbers, their email addresses, and find out information on if they're on the do not call list. Also, anytime you export list of data, the system will also have in the spreadsheet who's on the DNC list or not, so it's easy to keep track of. And when you push these things over to BatchDialer, you have the ability to scrub that out. And if you forgot for some reason, you can scrub it out in BatchDialer as well. So there's lots of different ways to see that information and get it out of your way if you want to. But after you have that in your account, you can easily filter it up here at the top of your screen. Lister tags is my favorite way to filter things out. Just easiest, most straightforward way. And remember, I kind of talked about how I care more about the tag, and this is why. It's really, really easy to see where I got the data, when I got it, what the list is, and it's kind of all tied together. Now that our data is pulled up, all you have to do is select them over here on the left. You already have their phone numbers if you're in the new plans, having that included by default. Click Actions, and then go to Add it to BatchDialer. You're then going to get a pop-up asking you to assign it to a campaign. And if you haven't set up a campaign just yet, I'll show you a quick way to do that so you don't have to overcomplicate it if you're kind of just getting started. You can tag it so you can keep it organized. However, the system does keep track of who you push over to BatchDialer for you, which is really nice. You can pull that up through your table configuration to see it like me if you want. You're going to choose if you want to push over landlines or mobiles or exclude something like not push over any landlines. That's completely up to you. All of these are your preferences. It'll then ask you how many phone numbers per record you'd like to push over, because BatchLeads can at times provide you up to 10 phone numbers on a certain record or property owner. So if you're wanting to just push over everything that comes through, definitely scooch that up to 10. But sometimes people like to focus in on maybe like the top 5 phone numbers, top 6 phone numbers, because those tend to be more likely to reach the correct person, being the more up-to-date phone numbers. We always provide the most to least accurate in that order. So phone number 1, for example, would be most likely to reach the homeowner. So it's completely up to you, but if you are wanting to just really focus in on maybe those top 5 to 6 phone numbers, that's always a great approach as well, just depending on your preferences. But there's nothing wrong with just pushing over everything that's available that is provided to you in your system. The next section is phone status. That's that status section I brought up earlier in the guide, that it's going to be by default just showing as unknown unless you change it yourself, but you can just decide to push over anything that's marked as system DNC, unknown, or wrong numbers. You'd probably uncheck things like this. It's up to you, just depending on how you've been organizing your account, but it's all of those phone number statuses next to the contact information. And then it's up to you if you want to push over people on the federal do not call list. Once again, if you forget or you take this off on accident, you can always scrub it out later again in BatchDialer. But I'm just going to take that off for now. So anything where the toggle is blue, that means you are pushing it over, just to really clarify that. So I do have plenty of campaigns in my account that I could connect this to, but I'm going to show a brief example for those of you that maybe don't have a campaign set up. You can do it really quickly. So let's go into my BatchDialer account. I'm going to go to campaigns. And you can make it more your own and customize it later on. But just to get the contact list from BatchLeads into your account quickly, go to create a new campaign. Choose your dialing mode. Preview dialer is the manual option. It's also used to call people back. It's just one at a time. Predictive dialer is the more popular option. This is where you're going to be most likely calling multiple people at once, and the system will simultaneously rotate through your contacts until somebody picks up. Choose your agents. If it's just you dialing, then make sure you put your own name on there. You do need to have phone numbers, of course, connected to your campaign to make the calls and receive calls back on. And if you don't have other things in your account set up just yet, be sure to go to the B in the bottom left. We have tons of detailed videos and articles, and we have lots of videos here on BatchTV as well. These will be more current, just depending on what you're looking at. And since we're going to be pushing over a contact list from BatchLeads, we're going to leave the contact list section empty because we're going to fill it here soon. And let's just name this new campaign Vacant Failed Listings, because that's what I'm planning on pushing over in Dallas, Texas. Choose any call results that are going to populate up at the end of your calls. I'll show an example call here today. If you have a script that you've created in your settings or just want to use the default one, connect it there. And as you're getting started, you really don't need to worry about the advanced configuration. You can learn more in the Help Center about it, but the system already has what we recommend applied for your best connectivity possible. So we're going to leave that alone, accept the terms and conditions, and click save. So really that's all you need to do in order to create a campaign. And we're going to go and push that list from BatchLeads over into this campaign. Okay, so back on this page, we're going to find that new list or that new campaign and assign it. If you want to tag it, make it more specific so you can keep track of your data in your account. It's always a good idea to use your tags to your advantage. I'm going to skip it for now, but click save, and then that list of contacts will pop up over in BatchDialer, ready for you to start dialing. It typically takes a few minutes, but once that's processed, all you have to do to start making those calls is click on the phone button in the top right-hand corner and click join next to the campaign that you've created and connected that list from BatchLeads to. The icons that you'll see next to your campaigns will indicate the mode that it's set in. The preview dialer will be the eye icon. Remember the manual or one at a time option, if you will. And then the predictive or auto dialer will be the magic wand. So I'm going to use a different campaign just as my list is uploading and just to kind of show you here in this guide. Let's use a tired landlord campaign I have. So when I click join, it'll pick up the amount of people I have set in my campaign settings and rotate through until somebody picks up. And it will also evenly use the phone numbers in my campaign too. So let's click on join just for this example, and it will then pick up those contacts. So I have 3 lines set in my settings, and it will keep picking up new people until somebody answers. You can click on this arrow to see the names of who you're currently dialing as well. And with predictive, you'll just sit back and wait for somebody to pick up. You don't have to touch anything else other than initiating the campaign, of course. So we'll wait for somebody to answer. Once someone answers, it'll bring you to their contact card. I'm going to go ahead and end this call, and you'll leave a disposition. If you remember from the syncing page in the beginning of today's guide, these are going to have an impact on your lead statuses and phone number statuses in BatchLeads based on what you set up in your syncing. If you didn't do that, of course, it's not going to do anything in BatchLeads, but if you've assigned certain call results or dispositions to take effect in BatchLeads, that's what's going to happen. This is kind of where that begins. So let's mark this person as do not call. I can leave my note, click next, close out of this. So with a predictive campaign, after you end a call and disposition it, it's just going to pick up another group of people and continue to rotate through. I don't have to touch anything else. But you can see here on their contact card, I can easily view their property details, see their distress indicators, how long they own the property, etc. Activities, previous campaigns, reading off of your script, leaving your notes. If you have a lead sheet connected, these are really underutilized, a great feature you should check out in the Help Center, set appointments, and so much more. So let's go ahead and end this campaign. You're just going to click on this megaphone option and click leave when you're done. But remember that that disposition is going to have effect in BatchLeads if you have that syncing page set up. There you guys have it. Hopefully today's video was helpful. If it was, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Drop a comment down below if you guys have any questions or suggestions for other things you'd like broken down here on BatchTV. Be sure to reach out to our team and visit our Help Center that's always being updated for you guys. Find the link in the description so you can join the community where you can network with other people. You can send me a message if you need more clarification, and hopefully we'll see you guys on the next episode.